Hi, I'm Kirsty, and I wanted to come on and just share my experience of last weekend with you all. Last weekend, I went on an animal communication course down in Glastonbury in Somerset. Never been down that area before. Absolutely stunning. It is beautiful. The energy is just amazing and something I've never really experienced before. But this course that I was going on with, it was with the amazing Madeline Walker, who travels around the world and talks to wild animals and has written a lot of books about it. And I was really keen to meet her, so I wanted to go on this course. And I also believe that you never stop learning in life. So I felt there was always something that I could learn more in my animal communication work. So on the Saturday, it was at the whole weekend was at a place called Painted Horse, which is an amazing organisation run by a woman called Livy. And they have individuals and groups of people that come to them to work with her herd of healing horses. I'd never heard of such a thing about having a herd of horses that do healing, so I was fascinated to meet them. She does a lot of work with gang members that are trying to rehabilitate back into society and use and people like that, as well as just um, maybe business people that want to try and connect and be mindful. So it's all kind of work like that that she normally does. But she had invited Madeline to come along and to give this course for the weekend. So in the afternoon on the Saturday, we actually went down and met this herd of horses. As soon as you walked up to them, the energy that was coming off them when you were standing in their presence, the energy was just kind of swirling round and building up. It was a phenomenal experience. But as soon as I went into this field, this pony, this piebald pony came up to me, and she was as round as she was tall, and she just came up and stood directly in front of me. And as soon as I just looked at her, I nearly burst straight into tears. And I couldn't understand my emotion. I thought, is it her emotion? Is it my emotion? So I had that initial reaction, which I was aware of. She then came up to me later in the afternoon, and I could feel that she was working on me. Um, yeah, as well as feeling, I also had the experience because I was just crying. The tears were just flowing down my face, and I could feel that she was working on grief within me, and I felt a lot of it was related to the grief of last year and also the grief of losing my horse Blake. And I could feel that she was working on all of that and allowing me to release it. So that was amazing work that she was doing. And then I spent ages, she just stood in front of me and allowed me to put my hand on her forehead, on top of her head, in between her ears, and I could feel that she was working on my crown chakra. As I was touching hers, she was rebalancing and rejigging my crown chakra and allowing it to be opened up even more. And the whole process was, as it was balancing all my energy, it was making me feel a bit sick. So I knew that the energy was kind of moving around. And we stood there for ages, and she was willingly working on me and realigning me, and it was an amazing experience. But I kept on getting from her that she wanted me to trance her. She wanted me to go into trance, and I was nearly being pulled down into trance, and she wanted to speak through me. Well, I've never had that request before, and I've never had that experience with an animal. And on the Saturday, I was like, no, I can't go into trance for you. I can hear what you're saying. I know what you want me to do, but the answer's no. So we continued our afternoon session, continued the rest of the course on the Saturday, never thought anything of it. Well, on the Sunday morning, we were in the barn doing our course, working with Livy's dogs, and we were communicating with that and having the session with Madeline. Well, Grace came in when I was there energetically, and I knew it was her, and she kept on saying, I want you to go into trance. I want you to speak through me. And she was extremely persistent. For a little horse, she was very, very persistent, and she was making me feel so uncomfortable. And just I was like a volcano. I was on fire. Because it's amazing when they want something and they come into your energy, they can really make your whole body feel extremely uncomfortable. And she nearly gave me an ultimatum that said, you either speak to Madeline and you make it happen, or I'm going to keep on being persistent and basically irritating you. Because I kept on saying to her, it's not my course. It's somebody else's course. I can't just take over, and I can't just go into trance and allow you to speak through me. But she was that insistent, I was then convinced. So in the break, I went running over to Madeline and explained my unusual request that was coming from this little black and white horse. And Madeline was amazing. She was very good. She understood how animals worked, and we don't always know why they ask us the things that they do, but luckily she was amazing enough to go with it. So I said to Grace, right, okay, it's sorted for when we're down there, and she wanted to do it in the field. So we waited until the afternoon when we were all down in the field, and it was in between that time and when I asked Madeline, and then when we went down to the field, I had Grace with me the whole time. I could feel her presence, and she was giving me all this information even before I went into trance, and it suddenly became abundantly clear why she'd chosen me and why she wanted me to go into trance, because she came across straight away very clear, I'm from Arcturus, when I nearly fell off my seat. The fact that this little horse was from Arcturus, and then it made perfect sense as why she'd connected with me, and why when we initially had met we had had that moment of emotional recognition, because obviously I'm from Arcturus. And she then proceeded to tell me loads of other stuff about the horses, etc. So when I actually went into trance in the field, I just sat down up against one of the fence posts, and the horses nowhere around. They were right at the end of the field, all grazing quite happily, and all I had was the 12 of the participants in the group, and they were just standing around. And so I just went down into trance, feeling quite safe. And then Grace started to speak through me, and she wanted to let everybody know, but in particular their owner Livy know, that why they were here, that there was many from Arcturus. Some of the horses, as she went round and nearly did a roll call, some were from the Pleiades, some were from Orion, some were from Lyra. There was just a mixture of star beings, and all had reincarnated into horse bodies. And she said why they were there was to help heal the planet. And why they were particularly there in that location is because of the energy in that location. And they had installed a grid. There was already the energy in the earth, but then they'd also installed, using their star being technology, a crystalline grid, which with my assistance and through me, the previous day they'd managed to fully activate that, which I had not been aware of, that was why I was there, and that was why I was being pulled down into trance, to allow this to happen, to this download of information coming through me into the earth. And so she went on to explain this work that they were doing, and why these various people were coming to them to allow this healing process to take place. And it was because of the location, and it was why they had all ascended on this particular location, and that Livy had agreed to undertake this work with them. So now that she was more aware of why they were here, she is now able to take that forward on a much more conscious level, which is what they wanted and what Grace wanted to get across to her and communicate with her. So it was an amazing experience, and I was so grateful and so honoured that she allowed me to be her voice and to be able to speak through her. But I think probably the most amazing thing for me, and fantastic validation and confirmation for everybody else, was when I opened my eyes and came back out of trance. Grace was actually stood right by me. She had come all the way across from the other side of the field, and she was stood right by me, just grazing. And that was just amazing. And I have a photograph of that, which will be posted on this video as well. But it was amazing confirmation to everybody else that who was actually speaking through me, and that was just phenomenal. So I hope you enjoyed my little story. I just wanted to come on and share the amazing experience that I had, because it just shows again the magnificence of animals and what they choose to do for us and how they help us. And then also to see beyond the surface that the little cat, the little dog, the horse that we share our lives with are not always what they seem. They are so much more and so powerful. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Much love. Bye bye.